interference in local government's finances. INEC conducts mock accreditation ahead of FCT Council poll. Plus, Nigeria, Niger agree on terms to eradicate regional insurgency. River State is the treasure base of the nation. Welcome to this television. So let's build and take it to greater heights, because it is a task we must accomplish. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Rstv Online. Just click that notification bell so you get live feed from the studios. My name is Awubele Barapaka, and I welcome you to the World News. Processes and innovations geared towards revamping and rebranding River State Television to take its rightful place as the best east of the Niger have been initiated. Acting General Manager, River State Television, Ambassador Paul Danwo, gave the hint while playing host to members of the Energy and Maritime Reporters of Nigeria in his office. Melvin Jackson has the rest of the report.
Ambassador Dangbo, who expressed happiness over the visit, said since his elevation as acting general manager, he has secured some facilities to make news coverage and reporting easier, while minor renovations has been carried out in the newsroom, studio, and other units and divisions of the station. He commended the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Communications, Dr. Honor Sirawu, for his numerous supports and expressed optimism that major interventions will come from the River State government. According to him, the station is ready to partner the energy and maritime reporters in exposing environmental degradation, insecurity, kidnapping, and vandalization of critical infrastructure in changing the narratives of the Niger Delta. The acting general manager, who charged the group to reposition themselves to benefit from the local content initiatives, commended the River State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists for embarking on training and retraining of members, urging them to do more.
To also look at how do we work in synergy with the security operatives to ensure that our oil wells does not become a problem, because most of our youths, they are still ignorant of the degrading effect of the earth by the reason of their selfish activities. Kidnapping also is linked to all these oil activities, and I believe that the reporters in the maritime and oil and gas sector should begin to mirror into these areas and see who are those that are sabotaging government efforts.
Leaders of the delegation and the chairman of the Energy and Maritime Reporters of Nigeria, Martin Giadom, the regional editor of Business Day newspaper, Ignatius Chukwu, and others said they were in the station to congratulate Ambassador Dangbo on his elevation and seek ways of collaboration to achieve their goals. They advised the station to focus and improve on content creation to make impact in the Niger Delta, compete favorably, and attract sponsorship, noting that the only way to showcase the state to the world is by changing the narratives.
We are here to do visitation to stakeholders in the oil and gas business. Media is critical. We are a major stakeholder, and we decided to come here to visit Rstv. Coincidentally, one of our colleagues has just been made general manager of the station, so we came to congratulate him on this elevation to the position of the acting general manager of Rstv, and use the opportunity ask him that we propagate the message of media visibility in the oil and gas subsector.
But if you are talking maritime, it's River State that we end at. If you are talking about energy, it's River State. So based on that, we now say, let the reporters here, we are reporters. We are just reporters. Let the reporters here take this seriously. Work harder, train more, understand more, and educate the nation.
It's a real privilege to meet with the new acting general manager of River State Television and his management team, and it's a very successful meeting that we have met today, and we have also discussed an area of collaborations and areas where we can move the station forward and also the state at large.
The acting general manager was accompanied by heads of divisions in the station. Melvin Jackson, Rstv News.
The Central Result Delivery Coordination Unit in the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination has said that the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project, also called HYPREP, has performed creditably in project implementation in line with the UNEP report on Ogoni land. The coordinator, Esege, stated this when his unit was conducted around HYPREP project sites by its coordinator. Justice Ihuon was on the entourage and filed in this report.
Mr. Sege said the visit was to see projects being implemented by HYPREP over the period in line with their mandate to track what NDAs are doing, especially those that align with high-impact deliverables of the president, adding that the leadership of HYPREP is committed to their mandate. While expressing the commitment of his unit to ensuring that Ogoni cleanup project is addressed squarely, he expressed satisfaction that the people are owning the projects, pointing out that HYPREP needs more support and collaboration with other NDAs to fast-track projects.
Our coming here indeed has opened our eyes to see what HYPREP is actually doing in respect of the project they are implementing, which we are tracking. Because for our unit, we have that mandate to track what all the MDAs are doing, especially those that align with the high-impact deliverables of Mr. President. And we've seen a lot of projects being implemented by HYPREP.
Also speaking, the HYPREP support lead of Renaissance, Mr. Hyose Ibunowahia, said HYPREP is doing quality work and assured that the company will continue to provide the needed support to ensure that the people get the benefits.
I must say that this visit has been quite enlightening. It has provided us an opportunity to see the government's commitment, to see HYPREP actualize the actions as recommended in the UNEP report. It is important that we recognize that Renaissance is very committed to the Ogoni cleanup. At various levels, we've provided multivariate support.
Meanwhile, the project coordinator of HYPREP, Professor Neni Barini Zavi, said his office is implementing all UNEP recommended actions concurrently, pointing out that the visit will keep the visitors abreast with about 100 project sites, which have created over 7,000 jobs for Ogoni youths.
Every quarter, we send them reports on what we've been able to, milestones that we've been able to achieve. Reading reports and seeing photographs is different from seeing the efforts and the infrastructures on ground.
He outlined projects being implemented to include remediation of impacted land, mangrove restoration, creating alternative livelihood, strengthening public health system, providing portable water, building center of excellence for environmental research and innovation, as well as ongoing power projects, among others. The team visited most of the aforementioned sites for first-hand assessment. Justice Ihuon, Rstv News.
The federal government has approved the reopening of the Samiya land border in Kebbi State for trans-border trade with strict security and compliance guidelines. Comptroller General of Customs Adewale Adeniyi disclosed this on Saturday while responding to concerns raised by stakeholders, including exporters, transporters, and onion traders during an interactive session in Kebbi State. He assured economic operators that the federal government was not indifferent to the hardship caused by the prolonged border restrictions, noting that the issue had engaged high-level diplomatic, security, and customs authorities across Nigeria and neighboring countries. The federal government has reiterated its resolve to end the long-standing interference by state governments in funds allocated to the 774 local government areas from the Federation account. The pledge was made in Abuja by the chairman of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, also called RMAFC, Mohammed Shehu, during the 2025 Budget Performance Appraisal and 2026 Budget Defense, organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Finance. Shehu lamented the persistent encroachment by state governments on local government finances, stressing that the Commission was prepared to take concrete steps to ensure financial autonomy at the grassroots. The RMAFC chairman also commended the House Committee on Finance, chaired by Lagos lawmaker Abiodun Faleke, noting that its guidance has strengthened the Commission's standing among key government institutions. The federal government has issued a series of stern warnings and deadlines to China Harbour Engineering Company and its sister firm, China Harbour Operation and Maintenance Company, over alleged substandard work, slow mobilization, and environmental hazards on key federal road projects across the country. The warning followed a high-level meeting chaired by the Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi, with top officials of the ministry and representatives of the two Chinese firms at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja. The companies are concessionaires on the Maraba, Kefi, Akwanga, Lafia, Makurdi dual carriageway and are also handling other strategic road projects including the Makurdi 9th Mile Enugu Road and the 7th Axial Road in Lagos. In a statement issued by the Director of Information and Public Relations at the Ministry, Mohammed Ahmed, Umahi said the meeting was convened to address mounting public complaints, safeguard government investment, and enforce strict contractor accountability under the renewed Hope administration. Now, the Controller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, has expressed the Nigeria Customs Services commitment to strengthening regional trade facilitation, safeguarding transit cargo, and enhancing cross-border security cooperation with neighboring countries, particularly the Republic of Niger. Adeniyi made this disclosure during a high-level bilateral meeting between the Nigeria Customs Service and the Niger Republic Customs Administration, led by its Director General, Muhammadu Yakuba, at the Customs House, Maitama, Abuja. The bilateral engagement is aimed at improving cooperation on the movement of transit goods destined for Niger through Nigeria, enhancing information sharing, addressing security challenges along shared borders, reducing delays along key transit corridors, and ensuring that legitimate trade contributes optimally to economic growth in both countries. Speaking at the meeting, the Controller General congratulated the Director General of Niger Republic Customs on his appointment, noting that both administrations share a long history of professional collaboration built through years of engagement at World Customs Organization platforms and bilateral initiatives on modern customs administration. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has conducted a mock accreditation and voting exercise across the Federal Capital Territory as part of preparations for the Area Council elections scheduled for 21 February 2026. Addressing supervisory presiding officers, also called SPOS, trainees during a train-the-trainers session, INEC Chairman Professor Joash Ampiton, a senior advocate of Nigeria, said the exercise was designed to test the Commission's readiness and build the capacity of election officials ahead of the polls. He urged the trainees to study the official manual prepared by the Commission and also reminded the SPOS of their statutory duties and encouraged them to avoid compromise, stressing that Nigeria urgently needs a stable and credible electoral process. According to him, INEC is committed to restoring and strengthening public confidence in the electoral system through proper training, simulations, and field testing. Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take it to greater heights. It is a task we must accomplish. Rstv is live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. Click the bell so you get live feed straight from the studios. Coming up, U.S. President Donald Trump signs executive order threatening tariffs on Iran's trade partners. And in sports, President Tinubu unveils major sports sector reform, orders funding reset from 2026. We'll bring you details of this and other reports on the flip side of the news. Keep a date with us.
There is something about this girl. Activate. activating the unexplainable love of God.
Greater love had no man than this.
Better love than no man,
That a man laid down his life for his friend.
You see, when God loves you, he fights your unseen battles. You are sleeping, you don't even know what is happening, but he's there fighting your battles for you. You are sitting in your house, he will raise a voice somewhere to be campaigning for you. Today, every storm in your life shall become still. The best way to find true love is to find God. Remember, God never sends you into a situation alone. He goes before you, he stands beside you, he walks behind you, he's always with you. All those that rejected you, as the Lord liveth, they must surely bow before you. When you have nothing left but God, you will discover that God is enough. God knows how long you have waited. Every second will be what at the end. So it doesn't matter how the devil have damaged your life now. Don't worry. God is about to remold you, repackage you, redesign you, and beautify you.
OPN, Dr. Jesus in action. Dr. Jesus in action. God is here.
We don't like to eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. Knorr Cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic, and enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
You need all the nutrients that will hold you tight. Stay in power, you find it all in peak. Every move you make, big steps you follow. The beat goes on, and the beat goes on, and the beat goes on and on, and the beat goes on and on and on and on.
Muna kira ga al'ummar arewacin Najeriya musamman jihar Kano da ku ci gaba da amfani da madarar Pig Milk.
Rstv, your source for authentic coverage. View us on YouTube Rstv Online, Facebook, and GoTV at channel 142.
It's time now for more news. Nigeria Customs Service and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have foiled a 4.7 billion naira drug shipment at the Lagos Tin Can Island port, intercepting a 40-foot container used to smuggle 2,366 packs of cannabis indica through the nation's busiest maritime trade corridor. The Customs Command said in a statement by its spokesman, Oscar Ivara, that the consignment was handed over to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency following a joint intelligence-led examination that also uncovered a Colt MKIV .45 caliber pistol with an empty magazine. He said the seizure highlights how criminal networks attempt to exploit legitimate import channels, raising costs for complaint shippers and reinforcing the need for tighter port surveillance. The command's area controller Frank Onyeka, said the interception followed coordinated profiling and examination carried out on January 2028 with NDLEA and the Department of State Services operatives. The Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, has delisted more than 400,000 inactive and non-compliant companies from its official register as part of a broad reform drive aimed at strengthening transparency, improving investor confidence, and cleaning up the country's business ecosystem. Registrar General of the CAC, Husseini Ishaq Magaji, disclosed this in Abuja during the Commission's 35th anniversary activities, marking its evolution from a manual location-bound registry into a fully digital corporate regulator serving Nigeria's estimated 250 million population globally 247. Magaji said that the listed entities were largely shell companies that had failed to file annual returns and no longer carried out active business, posing risks to economic integrity and investor trust. Magaji also stated that the cleanup formed part of a broader digital and regulatory reform that had repositioned the CAC as Nigeria's only end-to-end fully digital government agency, enabling business registration and corporate filings without physical visits to the office. Now from the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has signed an executive order threatening tariffs on Iran's trade partners after he pledged a round of talks with Tehran next week. The order, effective from Saturday, called for a fresh imposition of tariffs on countries still doing business with Iran. It comes amid heightened tensions between Washington and Tehran, with an American naval group led by an aircraft carrier in Middle Eastern waters and indirect talks held on Tehran's nuclear program in Oman. According to the order, the levies may be imposed on goods imported into the United States that are products of any country that directly or indirectly purchases, imports, or otherwise acquires any goods from Iran. From Ukraine, we got the story that the President Volodymyr Zelensky has said this week. There was no immediate comments from Washington or Moscow, but U.S. President Donald Trump has been pushing for an end for the conflict since he took office again more than a year ago. Meanwhile, Russia has continued its attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, causing widespread blackouts during the second round of U.S.-brokered peace talks in Abu Dhabi, which ended on Friday with no reports of a breakthrough. Zelensky said difficult issues remain difficult, including territorial concessions that Ukraine is under pressure to make. He said the parties discussed for the first time the possibility of a trilateral meeting between leaders, not simply representatives, but cautioned that preparatory elements are needed for this. Pakistan's military has said it has arrested 4 facilitators who assisted the attacker in Friday's deadly Islamabad mosque bombing, as authorities intensify a security crackdown amid rising concerns over cross-border attacks. Officials say thousands of mourners gathered in the capital on Saturday to bury the victims of the attack, which killed at least 32 worshippers and injured 170 others. The military said a major breakthrough has been made in the investigation into the Trilai Kalan Islamabad suicide attack, with intelligence and law enforcement agencies conducting raids and making arrests in Peshawar and Nowshera. It said that the operations, based on technical and human intelligence, led to the arrest of 4 facilitators of the suicide attacker, as well as the Afghan Daesh, ISIL or ISIS mastermind behind the attack. And sports. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has set in motion a sweeping reform of Nigeria's funding and make the industry more economically viable. The president announced the plan in a message posted on his verified X handle at Official Labat, where he described sports as one of Nigeria's strongest national brands and a major tool for unity and global influence. Tinubu said the reforms were anchored on the Renewed Hope initiative for Nigeria's sports economy, which he described as a strategy to position sports as a driver of job creation, tourism, investment, and global influence. Still talking sports, Manchester United profited from Tottenham captain Christian Romero's red card to stretch their perfect start under Michael Carrick to 4 games with a 2-0 win at Old Trafford in the Premier League on Saturday. Goals from Brian Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes ended an 8-game winless run against Spurs for the Red Devils, who cemented their position in the Premier League's top four. United close to within 2 points of third place Aston Villa and open up a 5-point cushion over Liverpool in sixth. A position in the top 5 is likely to secure a place in next season's Champions League due to the strong performance of English sides in European competition. Don't forget, River State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take it to greater heights. It is a task we must accomplish. Rstv the notification bell so you receive us when we are live in the studios. Now a look at some of the major reports. The federal government has reiterated